In this video, we're talking about the top 5 neighborhoods in Bremerton, Washington, and we're going to get it going right now. What's up, everybody? It's Cassandra Lopez with the Living in Bremerton channel and Remax exclusive. Neighborhood number 5 is downtown Bremerton. All right, so here we are, Washington State. We'll zoom in a little bit to Kitsap County, just so you guys can get a broad feel for what it looks like. So this over here is the Olympic Peninsula. And Kitsap is right in the middle of the body of water that comes down into Western Washington. And then more specifically, here's Bremerton right here, right in the middle. So these surrounding areas, this is South Kitsap, this is Port Orchard, this is North Kitsap, this is Poulsbo, Kingston, Hansville, Indianola, Suquamish. This is Bainbridge Island. And out here is the Seebeck area. Just to give you a little perspective here. These little piers, this is Puget Sound Naval Shipyard, and this is Naval Base Kitsap, Bremerton. And then if we go up here, this is the Bangor Base up here. This is a sub base. And then over here is Keyport. It's just kind of a supporting auxiliary destination. Check out this proximity to Seattle. Here's Seattle right here. Bremerton is 12 miles due west. And this little line here is Seattle Bremerton Ferry. So it takes you right there. It's about a 50 to 60 minute ferry ride if you're taking the drive-on ferry. And so you can like stay in your car and take a nap. You can go into the galley and have lunch or a snack, or they actually serve beer and wine on there as well. I used to go to school in Seattle, in South Seattle. I went to ITT Tech, and I had a carpool buddy that was in my class, and he lived in Bremerton as well. And so we would take turns carpooling, and I would sleep in the car because you'd have to catch like the 5:30 ferry. It was very early. And we'd land to Seattle, and then we'd go to class. Fun fact, ITT Tech lost its accreditation about 5 years after I got my degree. So now I'm in real estate. West Bremerton. This white area, this is all in the city limits of Bremerton. So that's the jurisdiction right there for municipalities and, police department and that sort of stuff. This is all incorporated city of Bremerton right here. Downtown Bremerton is considered all this right here. They've got it gridded out as far as the streets and neighborhoods go. Here's the Puget Sound Naval Shipyard. So downtown Bremerton is really cool because it's proximal to the ferry. So anywhere you live in here, you can walk or ride your bike to the ferry or to the shipyard or naval base, if that's where your destination is. Super walkable, tons of public transportation. And like if you live down here, you don't need to own a car at all. This is very walkable, highly pedestrian friendly. Down here, on this right here is Washington Avenue. And they have built condos all along. So we have all these eastern and southern facing condominiums that are gorgeous. And you can see Mount Rainier, which is to the southeast. Anywhere you are in Bremerton, Mount Rainier is to the southeast. So highly walkable, highly desirable. And then you either take the Minette Bridge or the Warren Avenue Bridge, and you're in East Bremerton. So that's pretty cool. So West Bremerton is the oldest part of Bremerton. It was built out first in the late 1800s, early 1900s to accommodate all of the employees for the Puget Sound Naval Shipyard. So a lot of these houses are turn of the century 1900s, And so they have the old world charm, the cove ceilings, the glass doorknobs. And fun fact, the Puget Sound Naval Shipyard, underneath it was built a fallout shelter. So there are tunnels that go underneath the city and underneath the shipyard, which is pretty cool. They have newer apartments over here. So when the Bremerton's mayor, when he took office, he had a plan to gentrify Bremerton, West Bremerton and downtown Bremerton specifically. So he really took control of a lot of buildings and a lot of residential houses that were not habitable, and he condemned them all and cleared them all, and then built really nice apartment buildings or really nice community centers, things like that, that the public could actually use, and it would beautify Bremerton and really help it stand out a little bit more. We've had this reputation for a long time. Bremerton is, you know, lots of crime and lots of this and lots of that, and it's just not a friendly place to live. And so he really wanted to come in and change all of that to make it a place where people would want to come to live. So the Seattle Bremerton ferry that docks right here has really put a spotlight on Bremerton in regards to real estate, because people will buy over here in Bremerton and live over here or live over here in Minette, and then have a walk or a bike ride to the ferry and work in Seattle. So then you're getting paid Seattle wages, but your cost of living is like half over here than it would be in Seattle. So, I mean, those guys are doing it right. So we have a lot of that going on, which is really cool. There's a lot of residential buildings and commercial buildings that are on the registry for historic buildings in downtown Bremerton. So that's a lot of fun. I know that there's an agent in my office who actually has one listed on 6th Street, right about here. It's a historical building that's on the registry. So that's really cool. Neighborhood number 4 is the Rocky Point neighborhoods. All right, Rocky Point, coming over here. So just a short ways away is Rocky Point. That's this peninsula here. So Rocky Point's relatively newer than the turn of the century downtown Bremerton area. This neighborhood was built out like in the 50s and 60s. And so they're mid-century homes, which are, in my opinion, super well built, stand the test of time. You really can't go wrong. Since it's a peninsula, obviously water on 3 sides, which means that you have waterfront all the way around. If you don't have waterfront, you likely have a water view. And if you don't have either, a lot of the properties that are in between and don't have a view or a waterfront, their titles have access to waterfront. So meaning like on your deed, on your title, there's an easement like through a waterfront property that you can walk down there and access the beach for public use. So that's kind of cool because, I mean, who wouldn't want to take advantage of that? It's really woodsy, lots of trees. They didn't clear it a whole lot. So it's lots of trees. Here, I'll switch to so lots of trees. Look at all that. They didn't clear it at all, or very minimally. So, so you have that really rural, woodsy feeling. It's very peaceful. And right here, this is the yacht club, which is fun. It's got its own little yacht club there. And then you have this water that leads into Silverdale. Up here is Silverdale, and this is Dyes Inlet. This body of water coming out through here is Port Washington Narrows. And this body of water is Sinclair Inlet. This is the southernmost inlet in Kitsap County. Rocky Point also is very favorable because this community is serviced by the #1 rated elementary school in the Bremerton School District, which is Crown Hill Elementary, award-winning and all that good stuff. So you can check that out on public data. But Crown Hill, let's see, is about right here. And so it serves all of Rocky Point and all of Finney Bay. This is Finney Bay, Oyster Bay, Marine Drive. That's what goes down here is Marine Drive. So all of these communities right around here is served by Crown Hill Elementary, which is a great school. Because it's a peninsula, you get only residential traffic down here, the occasional Amazon delivery guy. Some cons to that would also be that if you get stuck behind a school bus or a garbage truck, or they're doing road construction down here, you know, you're kind of limited as to where you can go because there's, I mean, as you can see, there's only one way in and out. There's a little roundabout down here, and all of these homes on this northern tip right here, like $1 million homes up here. It's crazy. And then you come in here and they're like, you know, 350, 450. So very diverse on this peninsula. Also, when you drive down here, your cell service gets a little limited. I know mine does. I have T-Mobile, so just occasionally, you know, I don't necessarily drop a call, but it gets really pixelated and really choppy. But great neighborhood if you're looking for a super solidly built home, mid-century home, bread and butter style homes with great access to community waterfront. Neighborhood number 3 is the Kitsap Lake area. Number 3, Kitsap Lake. So here we are, just a short jaunt from our Rocky Point neighborhood. So Kitsap Lake Communities, also built kind of mid-century, this whole area. So Kitsap Lake, actually this area is serviced by the number 2 elementary school in the Bremerton School District, which is Kitsap Lake Elementary. My 2 girls attended there and it was great. I loved that school. And then we moved out of the district, but what are you gonna do? So this is kind of up on a hill right here. And so we have a lot of western facing views properties. So remember how we talked about the Olympic Peninsula over here? All of these mountains, there's this little mountain range up here. You can see those from Bremerton. So you come into here and you have a lot of western facing view properties, or if you live on Kitsap Lake, then you have lakefront and western facing views. There's a neighborhood right here called Dockside, one of my favorite neighborhoods. It's every single home in here is either a view property or a waterfront property or both, and they're just incredible. It's really close to this golf course, Kitsap Golf Club. Some really fun facts about the Kitsap Lake area is it also has a disc golf course, and that is right in here, this green park right here. It's called NAD Park. I didn't name it, nobody ran it by me. But there's a disc golf course through here, and it's pretty fun. And then it's right next to the regular golf course, so you have access to either. Neighborhood number 2 is Minette. Neighborhood number 2 was Minette. So we're gonna go over here to East Bremerton. So remember in in downtown Bremerton, we could take the Minette Bridge over to Minette. So Minette is the southernmost peninsula in East Bremerton. And it goes up to about, where are you, Sylvan Way. So Sylvan, this whole area is considered Minette. This is like North Minette. Minette sits up on a little hill also, which is really, really phenomenal because then you get the eastern facing views of the Seattle skyline. So you can see like the Space Needle, and you can see Columbia Tower, and you can see all the structures in Seattle, which is really phenomenal on a clear day. Southeasterly, you can see Mount Rainier, which is phenomenal. Then of course you have all these waterway views and views of the Puget Sound Naval Shipyard and all the carriers and stuff there. And then western facing, you can see all of the Olympic Mountains. So, I mean, some properties up here, like if they're high up on a hill, you could have 270-degree views. And that property would be worth a lot of money. So, you know, this neighborhood is super favorable. When they built the infrastructure for it, they decided that they were going to build their streets like super wide. So all of these streets in here, like you could do a full 360 with like a pickup truck. Like there's no 20-point turns. So it would make it super convenient for moving in, moving out, that kind of stuff. But that's the thing with Minette, is that when people move in, they don't move out. It's just, people just love it here. And then this whole area down here, just waterfront condos, and they're not new, they're older, but they're in such good condition because a lot of them made rules that, you know, you're not allowed to have tenants. So owner occupied only, that kind of stuff. And so everything is really well taken care of. Even though they were built in like maybe the 50s or 60s. And then this is Port Washington Narrows, and this is where the boat parade comes through, like during the holidays and the 4th of July and everything. So it's a lot of fun to sit in your waterfront condo and watch the boat parade. It's phenomenal. And then right here, this is kind of a fun fact. The boat shed, this is a restaurant, and it's a waterfront restaurant. And I don't know if it's going to show me. The boat shed has a pier and a little dock that comes down, and you can actually drive your boat up to it, moor your boat, walk up the pier, and then have dinner or lunch or whatever, and walk down back to your boat and then drive away in your boat. So it's a lot of fun. Minette's got a really great mom and pop feel downtown. There's nothing commercialized down here at all. It's all like small businesses, mom and pop shops, that kind of stuff. And a lot of things have been preserved since it was built out like in the 40s and 50s and 60s, which is really nice. Lots of parks, lots of things to do. There's a little gazebo down here so you can watch the ferries go by. It's really kind of phenomenal. And neighborhood number 1 is Central Kitsap. Neighborhood number 1, Central Kitsap. Okay, so let me zoom out here. So just to give you your bearings, downtown Bremerton. Oh, look at Crystal Springs. It's partly cloudy. Downtown Bremerton here. Rocky Point, Kitsap Lake, Central Kitsap, right here. This whole area right here. Actually, if I'm being truthful, Central Kitsap is actually includes Silverdale and all of Seebeck, way over here. So as far as like school districts go and stuff, all of this is considered Central Kitsap. But right now we're just focusing on Bremerton. So East Central Kitsap, right here. So that includes the neighborhoods of Illahee, Brownsville. This is a great one. They have a great marina up there. Then Tracyton here. This says Fairview, but I also consider this Tracyton. There's a waterfront drive that takes you all the way along, right, and it takes you right into Silverdale, which is nice. So Silverdale is just north of Bremerton. It is considered commercial shopping retail center. In fact, people come from the Olympic Peninsula all the way down just to go shopping in Silverdale, like for the holidays and stuff. Plus, we have the only Costco on the peninsula. So, you know, that's kind of a thing. So Central Kitsap, East Central Kitsap is favored because it's got really, really high rated school districts. You can look that up for public data. Central Kitsap School District is tons of awards and everything. My kids are in this school district. I live in East Central Kitsap. That's not why it's number 1. But, you know, my kids have been in both CK and Bremerton School District, and I like them both. I had nothing bad to say about Bremerton whatsoever. But if you look at, you know, standings for awards and that sort of thing, CK is a little bit superior. Central Kitsap was built in kind of the 70s and 80s. So it's relatively newer than downtown Bremerton. But if you look at like all these little pockets, it's home to like just tons of little suburban neighborhoods all over. These are all just little suburban neighborhoods everywhere. And right now, most of the new construction going on in Kitsap County is happening in Central Kitsap. So this is a cool feature of Central Kitsap, is the fairground area. So this right here is Silver Spur Ranch. There's all kinds of horse activities all year long going on here. Right across the street is the fairgrounds. So this is obviously where the fair is held. And then we have, just south of that, all of these public ball fields, and this is super fun. And then we have Olympic High School. We have their football field. And this is just a random multi-purpose field on the school grounds. These are all ball fields that for public use. You know, if you have a kids sports team, my son's soccer team plays here, even though they're baseball fields. It's, you know, he's 7, so they can divvy this out into like 4 tiny little micro soccer fields just for little kids. So he plays there. You have the Thunderbird Arena. This is where the rodeo is, and they have like concerts and stuff right here, like outdoor stuff. This is where they have the monster trucks, all that good stuff. And then we have the big soccer field. So this is like where the adults play, or the older kids, or the high school kids. This is where they play soccer. And then we have all of the parking for the fair. And this is a horse arena right here. And another micro arena right there. And this whole area, all this foresty area right here, this is all a disc golf course. I know, Bremerton is serious about their disc golfers. They have 2 disc golf courses. I walk my dogs here frequently, so there's a lot of trails through here, and it's great for dog walking, great if you have a mountain bike and you want to ride your mountain bike through here because it's very hilly and technical. So that's a lot of fun there. And then right across the street, we have this children's park that's a waterfront park. So you can actually take the trail all the way down to the waterfront and hang out on the beach, but you have to do it during low tide because high tide, the water comes right up to the trailhead. So you can't really get down there and play on the beach unless you want to get wet. So East Central Kitsap has the Tracyton area right here. So this is all western facing waterfront right here. And so you have mountain views and water views and a waterfront. And then you go over to the other side of the peninsula. And then we have Illahee and Brownsville. And these are all eastern facing views. So you have views of Bainbridge Island. And this is not a shipping lane. So you're not going to have any ferries. It's just going to be recreational, personal boats and that sort of thing. So it's super peaceful, super quiet. You're going to have a really beautiful sunrise over here. And then on the other side, you're going to have a really beautiful sunset on this side over here. One thing about Central Kitsap and East Central Kitsap specifically is the property taxes are a little bit higher, which you're going to find, you know, I think it just goes hand in hand with, you know, better services, better, quote, better schools, you know, higher rated schools. Like you can look that up in the public data and everything, but higher property taxes go towards, you know, funding for schools and funding for public resources like fire departments and police departments and that sort of thing. So fun fact, so this is Highway 303 and Highway 3. So 303 and 3 merge right here in Silverdale. Highway 303 runs through East Bremerton all the way down into downtown Bremerton and it terminates here. And then Highway 3 runs through West Bremerton all the way down. And this actually doesn't terminate until you get to Shelton, which is about an hour south. And Highway 303, as you see, runs through downtown Bremerton, so within the city limits. And then a little bit north, we get into unincorporated county jurisdiction. And then this becomes kind of a freeway of sorts here into Silverdale. So since it is a state route 303, we have Bremerton PD has jurisdiction here. And then when you get it unincorporated, Kitsap County Sheriff has jurisdiction here, but Washington State Patrol has jurisdiction over the whole thing. So sometimes you'll see a state patrol way down here in downtown Bremerton, nowhere near the freeways, pulling someone over because they committed an infraction on a state highway, even though it runs right through town. So that's kind of fun. This is also called, let's see, it starts out as Wheaton Way, and then it becomes Warren Avenue, and then Waga Way, but the whole thing is also called 303. So you could call it any one of the 4 names and it's all the same thing. Changes names 4 times because why not? All right, so that is your little map tour of Bremerton, downtown Bremerton, West Bremerton, East Central Kitsap, kind of all the fun little neighborhoods throughout there. There'll be resources in the description if you want to check out the public data, like go to neighborhoodscout.com or niche.com and find out on your own, you know, on your own research about these neighborhoods. So that's a wrap for the top 5 neighborhoods in Bremerton. If there's an area or a neighborhood that you specifically want to dive into, you got to reach out to me, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, and that way I can help guide you through that and maybe do like a personal vlogging tour just for you one-on-one via Google Duo or, you know, like a FaceTime style app or something like that. So you got to get a hold of me. I'd be happy to help. So if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, tap that little bell so you're notified every time I upload a weekly video. All right, you guys, bye for now.